The terms Internet and World Wide Web are often used interchangeably, but they are not exactly the same thing. So when people say www, they think it means the Internet. So let's explain. The Internet refers to the global communication system including hardware and infrastructure, while the web, or WW, or the World Wide Web, is one of the services communicated over the Internet. So the Internet is a global communication system, that is including hardware and software. By hardware and software and infrastructure, we mean the buildings, the towers, the hotspot areas that extend Internet to you, etc. While the web is one of the services communicated over the Internet. The Internet originated with the US government, which began building a computer network in the 1960s, known as ARPANET. In 1985, the US National Science Foundation, NSF, commissioned the development of a university network backbone called NSFNet. The system was replaced by new networks operated by commercial internet service providers in 1995. The Internet was brought to the public on a larger scale at around this time. So the Internet was now known globally or on a larger scale in around 1995-1996. Since then, the Internet has grown and evolved over time to facilitate services like email, web-enabled audio or video conferencing services like Zoom and YouTube, online movies and gaming, that is like Netflix, data transfer, file sharing, often through file transfer protocols. So if you've heard of softwares like Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, we're talking about those things. Instant messaging like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, etc. Internet forums like Discord, Stack Overflow, etc. Social networking, online shopping like Amazon, Jumia, Alibaba, and financial services, things like Visa, MasterCard, online banking, etc. As a global network responsible for vast amounts of data transfer and process facilitation, the Internet is constantly evolving, so it is constantly changing. For instance, an initial protocol called IPv4 or version 4 model IPv4 distributing internet protocols addresses has largely been replaced by a new IPv6 model that will increase the number of addresses available for each continent around the globe. So the initial protocol called IPv4, which has been distributing internet protocol addresses, has now been replaced by the IPv6 model that will increase the number of addresses available for each continent around the globe. So the IPv4 was limited by the number of IP addresses it would provide to the whole globally, but now it has been, or it is being replaced by IPv6. Let's continue and see. The Internet has also expanded beyond the traditional workstation, as the Internet of Things, as it's called, is born. There is still somewhat of a delineation between traditional internet nodes, which use a classic web browser, and internet-connected devices, which will more commonly use reduced instruction set software. But the Internet of Things is blurring the line of where the internet stops and the analog world begins. So with the Internet of Things, if you've ever heard of it, this is where various devices are interconnected onto a single network. This means that one or two computers can communicate at the same time. For example, when very many devices are connected onto a single network, your phone can control your watch, or your smartwatch can control your phone. You can control your TV using your phone. You can control your microwave using your phone. You can control your temperature in the room using your phone. You can control your car using your phone. So that is what we call the Internet of Things. Very many devices interconnected onto a single network to make it easy for you to communicate to your devices. That is what we call the Internet of Things. So let's continue and say, in addition, there is a key framework that helps people to understand how the internet is changing and where it's likely to go on in future. This is composed of 3 versions or iterations of the World Wide Web as defined above. Hope we all know and understand what the World Wide Web means by now. So, these are the 3 versions of the World Wide Web that you should know as an ICT student. Number 1 is Web 1.0 or Web 1.0. Is the original incarnation of the internet as a place where most data was read only. As a place where most data was read only. Web 1.0 or 0 is often described by experts as an internet where the most common kinds of activity are passive. That is to say, reading, doing research, or learning about products and services before making a purchase over traditional media, for example, by telephone. So with the web or Web 1.0, it was read only, or most data was read only. So you just go on the internet and you look at things. You don't copy, you don't paste, you just have an overview of things. It is only read only. Then we have Web 2.0. As engineers added things like JavaScript, applets, and modules to the web, Web 2.0 merged. Web 2.0 is the read-write web or the functional web, where web fields and forms have allowed users to participate in transactions, upload resources, post their own suggestions in active conversations. Web 2.0 is, by most people's assertions, the internet that we now use. The problem of stateless web-delivered functionality is Web 2.0 is largely solved by digital cookies. These digital cookies are trackers that save individual user data in the browser to enable things like saved passwords. So when you go to Google and you search, maybe you have some history, or when you go into Facebook and you don't need to log in every time you go there, it is because your password is saved somehow, somewhere. If you can go on Google, type in a word and search for it, this is because of Web 2.0. Remember, Web 1.0 is where it was only read only, in which you can't even search for something. You only look at what you've been given. You can't search for something, you can't look up for something, you can't comment. So everything was like that. However, we're seeing that in Web 2.0, one can search, one can give comments, one can give suggestions, they can like, etc. Let's continue and say the trade-off is that user activity is inherently tracked. When a user erases the cookies, the session data is gone and the user will have to start over as a new guest in any future sessions. So the moment you clear these cookies, or you can call them trackers, then you'll have to start afresh. So in case you went on in maybe Opera Mini, then you accessed your Facebook using Opera Mini. The moment you clear cookies, Facebook will require you to log in again because you will be appearing as a new guest in the browser. If you have any questions, I'll be waiting for them. Then we have Web 3.0, which is the positioned future internet called the semantic web, where internet data will have evolved relationships and mapping will help automate a lot of what we now do on the internet manually. The semantic web proponents suggest will be a web that is in many ways automated by linking individual virtual objects and websites together in a seamless manner. With that in mind, Web 3.0 may help us to do away with the current model of using cookies for session data retrieval. So that is the future of Web 3.0 or 3.0. All of these changes show the general purpose nature of the internet and its broad scope in human societies. Defining groups like the Internet Engineering Task Force and World Wide Web Consortium continue to work on standards and universal approaches. So if you find time, look for a website with W3C, which has continuously worked on standards of this internet. So for now, I'm going to stop on Unit 1. Give me your feedback and then we shall see how to continue from here.